Hi, everyone. This is Michelle, and this is Paige, and we are from the Allegany County Department of Health. And we'd like to answer some of the questions that we've received in regards to COVID-19 or the coronavirus. So the first one we've gotten is, what are the signs and symptoms? So we're looking for 3 different signs. One is a fever of at least 100.4, a cough, and shortness of breath. If you're having those signs and symptoms, please don't go to your doctor. We want you to call them and they'll tell you how to proceed. If you are having an emergency situation, please, when you call 911, we want you to tell the 911 operator that you are experiencing those signs and symptoms as well. There have been some populations that seem to be more susceptible, such as the elderly and people who have underlying medical conditions. But good news is that cats and dogs don't seem to be transferring the virus or catching the virus.
Which means that cuddling your dog is an acceptable COVID-19 activity. Yay.
Perfect.
Okay, so what are some things that we can do to keep ourselves safe during this time? Is we want you to practice social distancing, which we know that you've heard a lot of that term, we know. But it's really important in this time. We want you to stay home as much as possible. And if you go in public, try to stay away from large crowds. That's for your health and safety. That's the main concern there. Also, we want you to wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds. And if you don't have access to soap and water, make sure that you use a hand sanitizer. Please stay home if you are sick. We know how inconvenient that can make life, staying home from work or activities, but it's really for just the health and well-being of everyone right now. And even if you're showing signs and symptoms other than the COVID-19, it's still a good practice to have. Mm-hmm. One thing is to make sure that you're cleaning a little more frequently. Using a product that contains an unscented bleach can really help clean that virus and make sure that that's all disinfected. But there is a difference between cleaning and disinfecting. If you are if you are wiping down your counter, you're just cleaning off the surface dirt. But then applying that bleach containing cleaner again and letting it air dry is really going to kill that virus. So it takes a little bit more time, but it's really important. Also, make sure that you're cleaning the items that you touch a lot, like your cell phone and your doorknobs, your light switches, that kind of thing. Michelle, what are some things that we can expect if we come into contact with someone who has been infected or if we suspect that we are infected ourselves?
So this is after you've contacted the doctor, and maybe they then tell you to contact the health department. So if it's deemed necessary, you might be placed in quarantine or isolation. So quarantine is for people who are without symptoms, but they've been in close contact with an individual. Isolation is for the folks who have either tested positive or people who have the symptoms. Mm-hmm. Remember that if you are deemed being under quarantine or isolation, that can only come from the Department of Health. It is a legal requirement. They are obligated to do so by New York State. Everybody's been doing an outstanding job, though, in keeping up with that. But we just want to reiterate that to be placed on like an official quarantine, it has to come from the Department of Health. Mm-hmm. And no matter what, whether if you're not in quarantine or isolation, again, we're going to keep that social distancing. Mm-hmm. Let's say you do get one of those, the quarantine or isolation orders. Let's say you work for or have an employer. That is the only thing that you are required to provide them. You don't need to provide any other medical history to them. So as of right now, we do know we have 2 cases here in Allegany County. We are absolutely not going to say anything about where they are. That's not fair to them. And it's illegal. We always follow HIPAA laws. But really, we want to keep the privacy for those families intact. They're dealing with enough as it is.
For sure. If you have any other questions about the COVID-19 or if anything that hasn't been covered in this video, make sure you use the contact information above. It's healthinfo@alleganyco.com. Make sure you're not putting any identifiable health information in that email, but you can give us general questions in there. Also, we have a new phone number that you can call, and it is for the Department of Health here in Allegany County, and it is 585-268-9700. Or you can call the New York State Department of Health at 888-364-3065. We're going to try and do these videos every Wednesday and Friday to keep you as up to date as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.